Hi Mark, this is Alan Cockrell with ABC, former hitting coach for the Colorado Rockies and the Seattle Mariners. I'm going to analyze your video this morning. Mark, I break the hitting phases down into, or the hitting aspect down into different phases. The first thing that I look at is a setup position. We're just trying to get into a good balanced athletic position, and we want to try to maintain that balance throughout the entire process. We'll talk about setup, load. We'll talk about first move with the lower half. We'll talk about first move with the hands, and then we'll go to contact and then into finish. The first thing that I look for, Mark, is, as I said, is balance. Balance simply is keeping your knees inside your feet and your head inside your knees, okay? We want to try to maintain this throughout the entire phase. As you can see here, you're in a very good position. You have a little bit of a closed stance, which is absolutely fine. The setup position is the phase of hitting that you're going to see the most variance in all hitters of all ages, from little leaguers to big leaguers. It's a style, it's a preference. I don't like to make alterations in a setup position unless it causes problems later on in the swing. So with a closed stance here, you're going to be fine. We'll move this just a little bit forward into the load up phase. Okay. Now as you start to get loaded, again, your knee is staying inside your front foot. This knee is staying inside, or your back foot, I should say. This knee is staying inside your front foot, and your head is still staying inside your knees. So we're in a good position. We're going to run this forward now to what I call the toe touch and then the heel plant. Okay? The first thing that will happen with all hitters is the toe will land first. All right? It's not until the heel of the stride foot hits the ground are we fully loaded and fully prepared to start our first move into the baseball. So as we can see here again, we're going to check these positions. The position that you get into, knees inside that foot, knees inside this foot, head is staying inside the knees. Okay? So everything, Mark, up until this point, we look pretty darn good. Another thing that I look for when we get to the loaded position is that our knees have equal bend. Okay? That equal bend in both knees is going to put us into a good athletic position. We want to keep our hips square to home plate, and the other thing that we want to look for is that this stride foot right here does not open up any more than 45 degrees. So if we just were to measure where your stride foot is, I think we're going to see that you're going to be in a very good position with keeping yourself squared up to home plate and close. So you're at 47 degrees, and I mean that's just slightly more open than we want to be, but we're in a good position. We hear the term stay closed, and for me, closed is stride foot is open no more than 45 degrees. So you're in a good position there. Now we're going to work into the actual swing process. Okay, we have loaded up. All right, the first move that we want to see take place is this back knee right here will transfer the energy that you have put into this back leg, the inside thigh of this back leg right here. We want to now transfer this knee, drive this knee into the thigh of the front leg. That's transferring energy from our load into our front side. That is going to be the first move that we make as a hitter. The next move that we make as a hitter will involve the hands, and this is called the connection. So as we start to move forward, as you can see here, your elbow has already slid underneath. Okay? We're losing a little bit of power here, Mark, because our elbow, this elbow, and these hands are going to start to work in front of your power source. The power source is your legs. this knee will transfer into the front thigh. If my hands, the head of that power source, I'm losing energy. I'm going to have energy created with my lower half. It will all add up with my hands to release the energy at the point of contact. At this particular point, Mark, I would like to see this shoulder, this elbow, and this back hip all in a line. And as you can see here, your elbow has got ahead of your power source. See how it's working in front of your shoulder and this back hip. So what I'd like to see is, at this point, I'd like to see the shoulder, this back elbow right here. I'd like to see that in line with the back hip. Okay, so that elbow should be sitting right here where I've drawn this little circle, that little circle right there. That's more where the elbow should be. Okay, so as we move forward just a little bit more, we're going to go to contact. Okay, you're doing a good job of keeping a good athletic position with your legs. Your knees are staying equally bent. It's good athleticism. It's good balance. You can see here, because your elbow has gotten ahead of your hands over here, that the hands are going to drag just a little bit, and the barrel of the bat is dragging behind you. At this point, we would like to see the hands more into this position in front of your body. So the hands would have worked all the way up to here. Okay, we'll run forward just a little bit more. We'll go to contact. Okay, contact, I like what I see with your head and eyes. Looking right down the barrel of the bat. I see a good strong position with your hands. Okay, the hands are palm up, palm down. That's a strong position to allow for that release. And as we move forward just a little bit more, past contact, your head and eyes are still staying down in the hitting area. You're looking right down the barrel. Okay, past contact, we're getting good extension. The barrel of your bat is facing the pitcher. We're getting good extension. And then we'll run it all the way to the finish. Okay, you can go ahead and, at this point, Mark, you can go ahead and release this back heel. Okay, you've gotten a good turn with this knee. This knee has moved into your front thigh. But at this point in the swing, it's okay to go ahead and release this back heel right here. It will just allow for better extension and more bat speed through contact. We'll run it all the way to the finish, and you hold your balance well. Your weight has stayed on the balls of your feet nicely. Okay, and that's gonna allow for, again, better control of the barrel all the way through the swing. So I like a lot of what you're doing, Mark. The biggest thing that I would work on with you is getting that connection with your back shoulder, your back elbow, and your back hip, so that they align. After your knee makes the first move, your back knee makes the first move into the baseball, we don't want to get that elbow in front of my power source. Remember, the power source is your legs. We get direction to the baseball, and we get drive through the baseball with our legs. And if that back elbow or the connection gets ahead of my power source, I'm going to be losing a lot of power. So I would just slow everything down, go through the steps, hit balls off the tee, and just get to that connected point, and then go ahead and just release the barrel as almost as though you were throwing the barrel through the bat. Do it at 30%, 50%, 60%, 70% swings off the tee until you can really feel that connection, and I think you'll start to see your power numbers rise just a little bit. So, Mark, thanks for coming to our